SPMP サイドストーリーくんねちぷ。
Previous overview. Kanasiabu, who became friends with Tanukamui, went to the sea almost every day. There, by chance, he sees Susa and Kushinada having a conversation. It was unusual to see Wajin on this beach, but it wasn't unheard of at all, and it was common to see someone standing and talking. However, now that I think about it, the events that happened after that started to move around this time. In the past, every time there was a heavy rain, the river overflowed, and the surrounding Kodan was in trouble. Palakodan is a little far from the big river, so it's okay, but everyone was troubled by the overflow of the river. I went to help, so I know how hard it is. After I saw them on the beach, I began to see Wajin near the river more often, and I thought that they were also in trouble. But on that day, when I saw a lot of trees cut down and the ground dug up to create a big hole, I was very surprised to see what the point of doing such a thing was. When I spotted Susa among the people who were cutting down the tree, I was scared by her bearded face, which was a head larger than the other men. I couldn't understand what was happening in front of me, and as I stared at the scene in a daze, people from nearby Kodan gathered at the logging site and got into a fight with the people who were cutting down the trees. The circle of fights grew wider and wider, and some people were injured and collapsed. While everyone was fighting, Susa was alone to stop the fight and try to pull them away. Thanks to his efforts, the fight was stopped, but Wajin and the people of Kodan continued to glare at each other with Susa in between. I watched them for a while, and then my father and sister came and started talking to Susa. My father and Susa were talking to each other in a friendly way, and the two of them felt like familiar faces. However, the people around me were about to start fighting again, so my sister was looking around anxiously, and Yakakima was watching the scene from a little distance. Later, when Susa started walking with his companions, my father and sister followed them, and the rest of the people were tending to the injured. I was worried about people who were injured, so I rushed back to Palakodan and brought my grandma with me, but I had never seen someone so injured, and I was a little scared. When we returned to Palakodan after tending to the injured, my father and sister also came back, and my father explained something to everyone in Kodan. In the end, my father decided to go to Hankanai-Koden to discuss it, but I was a little worried because I didn't think the men of the Wajan were so violent. My sister was going to go with my father, so I wanted to go, but I was refused because the purpose was not to play. So I asked Yukakima to go and see how the two of them were doing, and he was very happy to accept. But I'm a little worried about him. After my father and sister went out to Hankanai-Koden, there was a strange atmosphere and everyone was dark, which can't be helped in the current situation, but I'm a little worried. It was 2 days later that something unusual happened. A man of the Wajan came to Koden to see my mother. Today's story ends. The story is updated Monday. Please look forward to. If you like, please subscribe to the channel. See you again.